Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show. The show that is not for entertainment purposes only. Today we're going to be doing an open panel show and where y'all guys can come in and we can talk about anything we want. Well, almost within the guidelines of YouTube and Facebook and all these places that we broadcast. Which is why we have the Beyond the Veil on the website, so we can sometimes go there and really talk about whatever we want to. Today, I'm kind of here by myself. Everybody's either got an emergency going on or just something that's really important. So I'm pretty much going to be the only one here today. So you got me today, like the old school when it was just me, right? Old logic before authority, right? So today what we're going to do is, like I said, open panel, and we're going to talk loosely around the subject matter of the ancient trees, the volcanoes, the glaciers, because where do glaciers come from? They kind of come from the same place waterfalls come from. And we're going to get into all that here in just a little bit. I see y'all guys in the comments. What's up? Enoch777. Good to see you. Of course, Super Dave and Super Mike Smith are in the house with us today, doing what they do, and that is doing what they do, moderating and communicate with y'all guys, share links. They help me out in a lot of ways, and I sure appreciate both of them very, very much. What's up, Kent? Kent Sullivan, I see you back in the house today. Yeah, Big Dan. Yeah, I kind of am a big old boy. I'm about 6'2", 300 pounds, and there ain't much fat. I used to be a bodybuilder back in the day, and all that muscle is kind of hung around. Not like professional, but I was into it pretty heavy, and that and martial arts and some other stuff that I used to do. Yeah, good to see Enoch77. Good to see all of you. Let's go ahead and transition to where I can share my screen. And like I said, we are doing an open panel today. Now you're going to have headphones and a mic. And we're going to get Mike, speaking of Mike Smith, Super Mike and Super Dave, we're going to get them in here soon where we can have a little chat with them from time to time. We've kind of got the methods all set up. I've just been busy trying to make sure everything else is working. And like today, this is about the, I don't know, several weeks of actually not having too many problems. So that's a good thing. I'm actually starting to learn how to do it. It takes me about 2 hours, though, at least an hour and a half to set up to do the show and make sure everything is functional. You got to check everything. You would think it's just like you set everything and just leave it in there. No, you can't do that. You can have problems. But yeah, let's get where I can share my screen with y'all guys so you can see some of the things that we're working on here today. We're going to be talking about a little bit. Let me find an image that I want to show you. A few images. Actually, I got a lot of images because I'm in the process right now of building a documentary. And that's a really giant challenge. The documentary is going to be based on the giant trees of old and many other things related to it. Volcanoes is one. Waterfalls out at the tops of mountains is another. Glaciers is another. And also another one is going to be what some of these giant old trees have been turned into. What humans have done with some of the old giant trees. Like in India, you'd be surprised to know that what they've done is they've carved into the mountainsides. Some of the largest temples in India were carved right into the mountainsides or the tree stump or parts of tree sides and turned into temples and things like this. And even if you look at some of the Catholic basilicas and other old world creations like the pyramids in Egypt, okay? The pyramids in Egypt were built out of rock. And if you go and you start studying these things, like I'm doing in great depth, because I'm going to do a legitimate documentary. I've already started it. I'm pulling together all my video clips, which I've got a lot, but I've got more to do, and I've got to do all the recording of all the audio and everything, and script it so it's done well. And I've got to include all the data in there as well. Like, well, if you're saying a tree, if you're saying a volcano is the remnants of a giant ancient tree, you've got to look at, when the lava comes out of it, you've got to look at what makes up lava and compare it to what makes up a tree, the materials, the elements, and you've got to compare them, and you got to list them side by side. You've got to do all this data documentation and show that, hey, look at this, everything is basically exactly the same, which I've done and I'm doing. And yeah, it is basically exactly the same. And like, when you burn a fire, for instance, what do you get left over after the fire? You burnt some wood. What do you get left over? You get left over ash. That ash has certain elemental components left in it. And, well, if you think a volcano is a tree, Mr. Cannon, then you got to prove that the ash that's left over, volcanic ash, what does it have in it? Well, you'll find out in the documentary that's upcoming is it's basically exactly the same thing. Okay. And, yeah, so there is that. Now, what you're looking at on the screen here is, and I don't know when this was actually built, okay, but this was carved into the side of rock, right? Now, look at this rock. Look at that rock. That rock, to me, looks like wood. Does it to you? Like if there was a giant log and it was laying on its side, okay? And you have all these layers that are in there, all the fibers that run in the wood. These days, they call them basalt fibers or basalt towers or columns. But in this case, we're not talking about a tower. We're talking about one that's on its side, like is the case with most of the remnants of the trees that used to be in this world. But if you look at this, I mean, it looks so much like wood. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the bark is gone. It's disintegrated. And what you've got left is the layers, like over here on the left-hand side, you can see these layers of the wood, just like you have in wood. You have all those fibers and layers. The rings, each ring in a tree is a layer of growth. And back in the old days, everything was bigger. The oxygen concentration was much higher, and things were allowed to grow much bigger. But there came a time when these trees were cut off. Now let me get the link in case somebody does want to join. The link is below the video, below the live stream, wherever you're watching, with the exception of one or two places. I don't know if it transfers those links and information there, but for the most part, the link is below the video. Now, when you come in, again, you've got to have headphones and a microphone. I know that limits it as to how many people can join because you're not prepared. And that's my fault. But over time, maybe you'll get a set of headphones and a microphone and you can join in the future sometime when I open the door like this for you so that you can join me. Let me pull up here where I can get the link. Copy the link, and and come down here and actually I got to do it over here and share the link. Must have headphones and mic. Otherwise, I will not be able to bring you on the show. If you don't have microphone and headphones, we're going to have echo, and I can't bring you on. It just will not work. So there's the link, and also the link is below the video as well. So if you want to join me to talk about the trees, or if the conversation goes somewhere else, or if maybe you just want to hang out, that'd be fine too. You don't have to have all the answers, because I don't either. You don't have to have all the questions, because I don't either. But we are seeking the questions and seeking the answers to those questions. So there's your link. I see the real BP Earthwatch. Wow. Good to see you, brother. Really good to see you. I have a question for you, actually, and I hope you're still here. I have a question for you. BP Earthwatch. Do you remember back in the day when the BP oil spill was going on? And I think it was you that had video. You were putting out video of them streaming video down at the bottom of the well where they drilled down into the ground. And there were what looked like images, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like I remember there were images of what looked like entities or something really weird going on down there. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? Because there's some reasons that I want to know this, okay? Yeah. If you can answer this, maybe you can do it in the comments, but I would love to see some of that footage, if you happen to still have it, of that stuff that was looking like it was flying around down there around the wellhead at the bottom of the ocean. I would love to see that. Maybe even borrow a clip from you, which I could credit you for. But yeah, and I'll explain to you why that is. You can get a hold of me. Let's see if I happen to have. No, but I can pull it up here real quick. I really would like to get that information from you. Let me get the text that I'm looking for, that I can put it on screen. And then I can get a hold of you. You can literally just straight up call me at, see here, this number right here. I'm going to put it on screen for just a moment. You can literally just call me at that number. Don't do it right now because I can't answer, okay? But like after the show's over with, say here later this evening or whatever, you can call me at that number. And it's a number that's related to the Supernatural Show website. It'll ring my phone and I can answer it. And matter of fact, I'll answer for anybody if I'm available. Once it gets late in the evening, it'll automatically go to voicemail. But I would love to hear from you, brother, about that, and tell me what you remember, and if you happen to have any of that old footage tucked away somewhere, that would be very interesting if you did. So that's 843-402-8827. That's the direct Supernatural Show number. If I don't answer, it'll roll to Roxy and Shannon and Miss Kim, and see if one of us can't possibly answer. And if not, it'll go to voicemail. And you can leave a voicemail there too as well. So with that being said, good to see you here, BP Earthwatch. Appreciate you being in the house. Let's see here. I'm looking at the comments just a little bit more. BP says he does remember, yes, but he does not have the footage. He says, I don't. Oh, I would still like to talk to you about it if you would. Just a little conversation about what you remember, okay? BP also says that crack is still leaking massive amounts of oil. When they capped it, the pressure cracked a 500-foot down the side. Oil is still pouring out. You know, BP, you could click on that link and you could join me here if you've got headphones. I don't know if you have headphones and a mic. I'm thinking it's possible. As much video work as you've done, you might have headphones and a mic. You would be welcome, and thank you, Super Dave, for putting that number in the chat. You'd be welcome to join me here on the on this open panel that I'm doing today. So if you like, you don't have to have a camera on if you're not prepared. We could do audio only, but you definitely have to have at least a mic, if not a camera. If you just, yeah, got to have a mic, and you got to have headphones and a mic, or it doesn't work. BP says he'll look back and see what he can see. And yeah, I appreciate that. And feel free to join us if you want to. I'll be trying to keep an eye out for you if you happen to pop in. If not, give me a call after the show. Okay? Thank you, brother. All right, so I did share that link with y'all guys. Let me share it one more time just in case. Must have headphones and mic. There we go. There's the link again. And yeah, gotta have headphones and mic. Good to see you, the 390 Feeking. Nice. Hello, guy or girl. Appreciate seeing you here. Danger Vision, appreciate seeing you here too, as well. Out of Spain, it looks like. Wow. Very, very cool. I love it when people around the world join in here on the show. All right, so let's I'm gonna pull up my editor here real quick and show you some things. This is the editor I use. It's called Lightworks. They have a free version you can use. It ain't easy to learn at all. First time I opened it up, I closed it in about 15 minutes and didn't go back to it for months. So I was like, oh boy, that's going to take a job to learn how to use that editor. And it was, but now I know how to use it. So there's that. I've got a folder here as well because I'm building a documentary based on the concept of the giant old trees of old that were miles high, many miles high in some cases, and the root systems would have went many miles deep into the earth as well. And if you know anything at all about trees, they store energy. They store energy from the sun, okay? They store it in them, and when they are die or cut down, that energy is going to drain down into the roots. And then you have all that stored fire basically stored down there. And over time, a lot of time, there's going to be transmutation that takes place, okay? And sometimes, depending on the kind of tree, depending on the conditions, I think you can end up with a volcano. Sorry, drop my headphones. I think you can end up with a volcano, very possibly. And a lot of the data and analysis of the molecules and things that are in all these trees and lava, and there's ash left over after you burn a fire, and there happens to be ash shooting out of a volcano as it's exploding, you know, and there's just a lot of things that line up. And then you got the waterfalls. Well, the trees of old were giant, perfect pumping systems. And those pathways where that water was being pulled up are still there. No, the tree is not pulling it up anymore necessarily, but the pathways are there. And so what it would be causing it now is heat and pressure, pushing that water that is a continuous flowing in there because of all the underground rivers and lakes and everything that's out there. That water is being pushed up continuous, and you end up getting a strange kind of thing going on, and that is that you have waterfalls that are year-round coming off the top of mountains. Yeah, rain makes it more, but it doesn't answer the question, where is all this water coming from 365 days a year, decade after decade after decade? And then the glaciers, that's the same thing, except for it's in the cases of where it's in a lot colder climate. You've got basically water that's warm down below, and as it rises up through, it's freezing, and it's being forced out of the top of the volcano, and you have, or not volcano, tree stump in this case, it's being forced out, and you have a glacier of slow moving, continuous water, ice in this case, that's forced down the side. The glaciers never run out of glaciers. They never run out of ice. Where is it coming from? It's coming from below because of the pathways that exist inside of those ancient trees, the giant trees like Enoch talks about in the book of Enoch, the giant trees like the Bible talks about, like being in Lebanon. And you can find these trees that look very much like this deal here all around the world, except for they look even much more like trees than this does. That is just a little intro, one of the intro videos that I'm using as I'm starting to build the actual documentary on this theory. Okay. And I'm going to share, let me check and make sure we ain't got no visitors in the house. Nope, we're good. And let me pull that back down. Let me pull this folder up here. I want to go over. I've got a folder here that's called Volcanoes and Waterfalls. That's what I named it to start with. And then I've got all this B-roll footage in here of various different things. And I thought a lot of this is going to be in the documentary, but since we're just talking and nobody's here but us, I thought I would share a little bit of it with you and maybe have some thoughts, as we look at some of it. There's no audio with this video footage, but I'll be the audio. Let's take a look at a few things. Here's a nice piece of just a short clip of this is called, they call it the Salt Towers. They say volcanoes made this. Well, they're kind of almost telling the truth, just not quite. The volcanoes are made out of this. This is the basalt. Okay. These are the fibers of the tree. You can see that they're in the hillsides back here. See them back there in what looks like a cave in the back corner back there. And all of this is all basalt. And what it is, it's the hexagonal fibers of the giant tree that used to exist here. That's what that is. Let's look at this little video clip here. So now there we have, and somebody's, of course, going to text me while I'm live. Let me see, make sure. Sorry, guys. Miss Kim checking in with me. Here I am live trying to do a show, and of course, She wants something. So let me see if I can do that. That way we can get back to what we're doing. All right, so we've got a waterfall, and we've got the fibers running vertically. This is a tree stump, and you have a waterfall coming out from above it. Well, where do you reckon that water's coming from? Yeah, could be some rain, but there are waterfalls like this all around the world that it don't matter if it's raining or not, the waterfall is falling continuously. Trying to send Miss Kim $10. And done. All right, that's good. Done. So we got the fibers of a tree. It's undeniable. If you can't see it, I can't see it for you. You got the fibers of a tree. You got the water flowing down from above the tree, the ancient tree that's been cut off. It's undeniable in my book. We're going to keep looking at some more clips here, though. Here's another one. Of course, you can see the fibers and the water running down from above. And again, yes, some of this is going to be rainfall. Some of it's going to be snow melt, things like that. But it only matters if I'm right about one thing. You see, one tree, one volcano. But I know I'm right about a lot more. Now, this place here is very interesting because this was carved out of solid stone, or should we say, the remnants of a tree. You can even see the patterns in the rocks over here, the vertical patterns like fibers. And yeah, this is in India. I forget the name of this place, but it's in India. And just, you got to have literally the perfect kind of tree. You know, this isn't the same kind of tree maybe that turns into a volcano, because there were all kinds of trees. There's some trees that just turned into a rock, and it was the perfect kind of rock to build a temple with, because they could go in there and hew it out, because that's what they did. You can see that they went in here and hewed this out of stone, what they did. Okay, let's see here. Got another video. Right now we're just looking at mainly basalt locations where you can see the tree fibers and the water coming from above, where it's still, because of the heat that's down below, the pressure down below, and the rivers and water that is below, being pushed out the top of the tree. There's one that sits out in the edge of the ocean. And so you can see where it was cut off, and then on top, there's all this sediment material that is left on top of it as well. Other things that turned into stone. There's probably a lot of ancient coral here, because this water level was much different back in the day, because this couldn't turn to stone unless it was covered by water for a very long time. All the water levels around the entire world, there was a time when the trees were giant trees, that the oceans were nowhere even close to the size they are now. The continents and everything, as we call them, were much bigger, because all the water was in the trees. all these massive trees, because you got to really imagine how massive, and I'm going to be able to show it in the documentary. But all the water, not all the water, a lot of the water was being used by these trees. When you've got a tree that's like in the case of Hawaii, the Big Island, I did some of the measurements and figuring on that, and it would have been somewhere between 67 and 100 miles wide at the base, the tree that now is a volcano. But they don't want us to know that for some reason. This is one of the reasons that I'm focusing on this, because there is a big reason that they don't want us to know. And we've already made some massive discoveries when it comes to thinking about this and everything, but it's going to be more. There's going to be more. So, yeah. Now let's see here. Some more here. There's some different images of some things, video clips. Very cool formations left over. Just sitting out in the ocean. I'll check this one out. So you got waterfalls running down. Could be just rain in some of these small falls. I'm talking about the big falls that never stop running. But you got water running down. You got water running through a canyon that was a tree and still is. It's just now converted to rock. Is all that's left is rock. Not a fair statement, actually. It's not all that's left is rock. It's just its current state. Okay? Because all things continue to change and transmute over time. Check that out. You can tell that this whole area is the bottom of what was a tree. It don't take too smart of a person to realize this is not lava on the left or on the right or any of this. This is not lava. Lava does not form in hexagonal shapes. Not any lava, not one volcano that's ever erupted since man was alive has formed hexagonal columns. All perfect. How easy are you to be fooled if you believe something like that? Again, these are clips that will, for sure, this will be one that will be in the documentary. I can't say all of them will. Another clip. The documentary will be coming out, I don't know exactly, but I would imagine a month or two. All depends. I'm a one-man show when it comes to all this editing and all this technological stuff, although Roxy is able to help me with some of it sometimes. Isn't that cool looking? You see the tree fibers, they break down into these chunks. And over time, water, air, everything wears down these tree fibers. But then you still have some of the massive areas standing in the distance. It all depends on what part of the tree, what kind of tree. A lot of details there. Now, how crazy is that? Now, how crazy is that? It's just a bunch of twisted, mangled remains of wood. The ocean beating upon it over hundreds, if not thousands of years, maybe tens of thousands, who knows how long, caused it to shift. When this tree was alive, this ocean wasn't up this high. The ocean was much lower. Probably way lower and just gone. There was no ocean there. Really awesome footage. This is another view of that area we were looking at earlier, I think. Most of this is like drone footage, I think. Now that's basalt. I don't know who's texting me over and over and over. Let's see. Oh. Well, hey, I can appreciate that. Wow. Thank you, Joshua. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Wow. Thank you, Jane. Well, that was actually a little while back, but thank you, Daniel. And thank you, Joshua. And I have a feeling looks like we got a new registration for pre-registration for the Angel Cruise. Matter of fact, it's probably a good time to run that. Check this out. So the Angel Cruise is on the website. You can go here and read about it. Okay, if you just go to TheSupernatural.Show and click on Angel Cruise, you will see a page come up with a familiar image. This is CGI right here, but I've seen the angels on the water looking like this many, many, many times. And so I'm going to take a group of y'all guys and we're going to go on a cruise, and assuming it all works out, because I can't go if y'all guys don't go, you come down here and you can fill out the form and explain everything, ask a bunch of questions, lets me know what I should be doing. Okay. Lets me know what I should be doing. Let's see here. Let's go back to maybe our video clips. I've got some other really cool ones I want to show you guys. Let's look at maybe a few mesas. And I've still got to do a bunch more research and locating some more of them. You can see how big they are looking at these cars going down this little road right here. And these are actually small ones, you might say. Here's another clip of another mesa. And there are, we're talking about the remnants of the trees, but there are also remnants, meaning petrified remains of a lot of other kind of things in this world as well. I think that there are petrified giant beings out there. I think there are petrified giant creatures out there. Mud Fossil University showed images, of course, of a number of things, but one thing was what looks like it's some kind of a reptile type, dragon type, really giant creature over in Africa. And it's pretty convincing when you look at it really close. It's all petrified, it's all rock, but it's there to be seen. And I don't agree with everything that Mud Fossil says, but neither does anybody agree with everything I say. It's okay. We don't have to have a problem because we don't agree on everything. I can still appreciate the things that he has said that I do understand and I do get. So you can see, think about it. Am I looking at wood? Am I looking at wood? That's the question. Oh, we done seen that one, but am I looking at wood? Some kind of wood. Not all of it's going to look the same because you had a lot of different kinds of trees, back in the day. And not only just trees, ultimately everything goes back to the earth. You go out in your yard right now and you pick up a handful of soil, everything in your hand will have been alive, possibly even many of times, but everything in your hand has been alive in one way or another, whether it was a pine tree, whether it was a human being, particles of that, like the Indians that were here way before us and whatever was here before them, because there's evidence of that as well. Now, I hope to get a bunch more footage of the mesas. That one's not real clear because they're more focused on the weeds, but that's okay. This is a neat one. Look at those tree stumps. Oh, it just didn't happen to wear the same way. Just left these things sitting there like that. It's just, it was volcanoes that pushed it up like that. Really? It looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20 volcanoes right here. This just happen to be pushing up lava in these spots, and it happens to be vertical. No, no. But that's my opinion, you know. Oh, this one's got a lot of footage that's got to be cut out or edited, I should say, not cut out necessarily, but edited. Let's see what else. What we might want to look at, because I've got all these folders with different footage and such in it. Then I've got a bunch of it down here as well. And I see y'all guys, or I hear y'all guys jumping on the website and stuff. That's awesome. Supernatural.Show. This one's actually got a little audio. Not sure if you can hear it. Just water pouring. Like, what are you looking at, really? You know? And you kind of have to forget a lot of what you've been told. And re-ask the questions for yourself. Where does the water supply come from glaciers? It continuously moves down the side of the mountains and stuff. Where does it come from? Oh, it's just snow, Daniel. It's just rain or snow, Daniel. No. No, unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. Could I be wrong? Maybe. But I don't think it's the case. Some amazing things out there that, you know, we really never get to see. You know, we think we travel a lot or do this or do that, but there is some crazy, amazing places in this world. Again, just sharing some different clips with y'all guys of different clips that I'm considering using in the documentary. I haven't come up for sure with a name for it yet, and I want it to be something that says something, of course, but I want it to be unique. And what is it when something has a double meaning? You know, what's that called? A conundrum or the other thing for it? I'm not sure. And then, of course, you'll have mountaintop lakes as well. Lakes and the mountaintops. And, of course, you know, you can have water that pools up. Like this one's fairly small. But if you think about it, there are some of them, like Lake Tahoe, and some of them that are really large, and they're on the top of some really big ancient trees. It's my theory that the water comes from below in a lot of cases. See the stair stepping effect? See how it's stair stepping? What you got there is you have the fibers of the tree, and they wear off somewhat in a semi-reliable pattern, okay? And they have a certain amount of distances that they will crack and fall off and fall down to the bottom. And as you can see, these are those cracks, and they're all following a similar pattern, as you can see, these stair-stepping thing coming down. A lot of cool clips, huh? Amazing this world is. Beautiful it is, and all the resources there are. And every one of us here is paying through our nose just to exist. Unbelievable. The only creature on the planet that come up with a method in a way to imprison themselves. How to pay rent. Well, check that out. This is the stream pouring out of this pond. And this pond, or this little lake, which is absolutely gorgeous, is on top of a mountain. Wait, think about that. And there's another waterfall pouring out of it, going the other direction. Where's that water coming from? Oh, it's just rain, Daniel. It's just rain, Daniel. You think too much. You think too much, Daniel. Okay, if you say so. But I'm going to keep asking questions. And I'm going to keep finding the truth. And I'm going to keep sharing it with y'all guys for you to consider. Doesn't mean you have to believe it, but it means that here's something to consider. There's your ash like it's coming off of a fire. And it is. Rolling just like you see the ash or smoke rolling off of a fire that you build in the backyard. And you'll notice that it spins and creates toroidal spins. See the toroidal spins? It's spinning, turning in on itself. That's the nature of the way things work in this world. It's just like the water wants to spin and go down your toilet. Everything in this world wants to spin, like a hurricane, tornadoes, the water in your toilet, the smoke that comes off of a fire or out of a volcano or from an explosion. It all follows the same rules. Let's see here. Look at this one. Amazing. Check here real quick. All right, and check in the comments real quick to see what y'all guys are talking about. All kind of stuff. Yeah, we got the tinfoil hat contest going on here. Well, matter of fact, I should cover that because we have started it. It's officially underway, and I will be updating the website. I'll try to have it done by tomorrow. Since I don't have a live show tomorrow, hopefully nothing crazy goes on. Like my refrigerator just went out and lost about half of my food. The other half's in a cooler. Yeah, one of those fun times. Tinfoil hat contest. Let's go to the homepage here. Tinfoil hat contest, the Supernatural Show 2025 tinfoil hat contest. You come to the website and you click on here. You will see a bunch of details. And down here where it says 2025 tinfoil hat contest instructions, rules, and other information, notice that there's a little button right here. Especially if you're on a cell phone, it's easy to miss. But that little button will give you a bunch more details, okay? And you can just come here and RSVP, which we have had several people RSVP, not too many. So there ain't much competition yet. And we're going to have a couple of different categories as to how they're going to be judged. But we're going to leave the judging up to y'all guys. And I'm going to build a hat. I've got some tinfoil here, and I've got my band to go on my head started. And I'm going to build a tinfoil hat. Roxy's already got one going. Shannon's going to build one. I think Miss Kim's going to do one too. But we will not be able to compete. We're just going to be showing them off for fun, which is what this is about. It's just about having fun. We talk about plenty of serious enough things all the time that there's nothing wrong with us just having a little fun, poking fun at, the fact that they wanted to call us conspiracy theorists and they want to call us the Tinfoil Hat Club. Turns out, as most of you know, we were right. And a lot of people know it, Also, I wanted to point out something too. I realized that I had made a mistake on the website the other day. And I don't know why I didn't catch it before. But if you go on the website and you click on the Supernatural shop, it was going to the wrong link. So you couldn't get to the Supernatural shop. So now if you click on one of the images that say Supernatural shop, it will bring you here. And you can come here and you can see all the products that are available. Okay, and there's all kind of different merch that's on here. And it's a way for y'all guys to contribute, but also still get something that's maybe kind of cool. Okay, so feel free to come here and check it out. One of my favorites still is this one. Let's look at this. This is called the Cosmic Choir t-shirt. Okay, let's open it up a little bigger here so you can see it. Cosmic Choir, singing creation together. It's showing an image explaining that the stars in the sky, as I've explained to y'all guys, and if you think about it long enough and stop believing what NASA told you and what your science teacher told you and analyze and look for yourself, you'll realize that the stars in the heavens are angels that sit on nodes. And no, they're not the angels like they showed you in the cartoons with the wings flapping exactly like that. It's an angel of light, okay? But I depicted it a little bit like that so that the point would get across if somebody's seen it. So you got the big one down here, down low, and that's like your large orbs that I've talked about so many times and many of you have seen. And then all the sky with all the stars, they're all angels too. They're just different types. God created things in amazing ways, but he did not create things in a way to be confusing. Things are simple, okay? Our Father in heaven created things to be simple, all right? Now you got the shirt, like this shirt is $16.50. There's only one in the world right now. On the sleeve, it says TheSupernatural.Show. On the front of the shirt, it has the Cosmic Choir image. You can get it in different colors, whatever color you want to get it in. You can get it in, as you can see. And it's a way to contribute and get something. Of course, this show would be nothing without y'all guys' support. And I thank you for that. I wish there were some other ways that I could say thank you, but the best thing I can do is do what I'm doing. And that is do something that most people would never do because of various reasons. And I get that. But this has been the mission and the path that I've been put on and sent to do. So also, we go back to the homepage. If you come to where it says donate now or donate options, you'll see that I've got a thing up here where it says basically a goal that I've got set, where I'm trying to get it where I can raise $3,000 a month. Right now, I ain't nowhere near it. Not even close. I get $200 a month from YouTube, and that's it. It can range up. I've seen a little bit more, but lately it's been about $200 a month coming from YouTube, and that's my only income outside of y'all guys supporting the show one way or another. On the left here, these are all like one-time donations where you can just click and donate to CashApp or Venmo, that kind of thing. On the right is where you can set it up to donate a certain amount like $10 a month or $10 a week or any amount that you pretty much want. You can set it here, and then it'll automatically do that transaction each week or each month automatically, and then you can cancel it anytime you wanted to, of course, if situations change. I know some people are out there that could donate $500 a month and never miss it. I also know there's people out there that maybe could do $10 a month and maybe never miss it. Everybody's situation is different. So with that being said, I wish that somebody wanted to talk, but I also know that you got to have a mic and you got to have headphones, and that knocks a bunch of you out. Maybe if you wanted to, get your headphones and get a mic and headphones, you can get a cheap set like for $10-15 that you put on. I recommend a set of wired ones. I don't recommend the ones that are wireless for multiple reasons. But get a set, $10 or $15, and then the next time we do an open panel, which will be generally on a weekly basis now, we will be doing an open panel where y'all guys can join us, because this show is for y'all guys, and you can be part of the show. Okay, it doesn't have to be just me here. Okay, so there is that. I'll keep updating y'all guys on the documentary that I'm working on the side. I do have, wondering about some things being released, I do have an area called the pay-per-view area, which has a number of programs in there that you can watch as well. And they're all stuff that got banned worldwide when I tried to upload them on YouTube. Some of them are a little bit older. Some of them are very recent. I just did them. And but when I upload something on YouTube that's not live, depending on the content, sometimes it comes back and says banned worldwide, and I never even get a chance to release it. I have to delete it. There's no need in having it there. It gets you, if you do try to release it, you're going to end up getting possibly a strike or getting the channel terminated. So they let you know that's got information in it we don't want people to know. And for me, you can find that right here in the pay-per-view area. And it's only like anywhere from 99 cents to $3, I think, something like that, to be able to watch it. And you can even, there's download options as well. But with that being said, I've bothered you enough today, probably. Hope you like the concept that I'm working on with the trees and the volcanoes and all that. And I know some of you may think, why worry about that? There's secrets to be found. There's massive, great secrets to be found. Just like a lot of the things I've disclosed in the past, massive, great secrets. We're going to keep finding those as we dive further and further into this, dive further and further into the trees, okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here today. I love you guys, and I thank you very much for being here with me. Our Father in heaven loves you as well, and he's asking me to tell you that he would like to hear from you more often. You're only coming to him sometimes when you have problems. He'd like to talk to you during the good times too. So see what you can do about that. I love you, and we'll talk to you soon. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm going to try to get closer to 2 o'clock. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Shannon and Roxy are doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Shannon and Roxy, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Me and a multitude of others, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and hopefully we'll get to even the weekends. But I do rebroadcast the live shows during the week, like this one will be rebroadcast on Saturday. I love you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.